Hey guys, it's your boy Mr. Luke Evan Brooks. I hope everyone's doing well. Stay tuned. So I'm back. Just got finished getting my money out the ATM machine or whatnot. The lady was like, "Oh, it's gonna be driving distance," but it wasn't really driving distance. It's just really just walking distance. I don't mind walking just to get my head together. Like that's the real reason. Because I've been in the room, man. I've been in the room for days, right? I went out, go get my errands and come back home. But this, as far as my head goes, it wasn't there. You know, a lot of things have happened since we last got on this video. And I just definitely think that it's just time for me to do the things that I love. And I ain't saying that I'm quitting or anything or whatnot. But as far as just really, really helping the people. You know, helping people understand, you know, financial literacy, how to create multiple streams of income, and really make an impact in not just their lives, but in their families' lives. And you might say, "Luke, you don't got nothing." I do. I have a mom, a dad, a sister, a nephew, right? You know, those people count. You know, because at the end of the day, I don't want my sister to be working forever, right? I don't want my nephew to have to be trying to figure out work for someone, because that's one thing I tell people. You know, being in the military, nothing wrong with it, but I don't see myself working for anyone else after this. I hear a lot of folks tell me, "Well, you can go work for this government." I don't want to be doing more work for someone else. That's not in my vocabulary. But I can talk like that all I want to, but if I don't apply my affirmations, if I don't apply what I'm saying into practice, then it's just words. That's why we do the thing for Turo. That's why we're doing the thing for real estate. That's why we're doing the things that you're looking at for, you know, items such as ATMs, multiple streams of income, not just one thing. Because if you put your basket in one thing and it tips over, now you got to start all over. And we don't want to do that. You know, initially I did digital marketing, and nothing wrong with digital marketing, but I'm gonna tell you, it's hard to really get yourself amongst other people, right? Because everyone's doing it, and that's the problem. Everyone's doing the whole digital marketing, click funnels, group funnels, things like that. I'm not saying you can't do it, but it takes a lot of time to do that. It takes a lot of time to get yourself there. And I think if I would have kept up with it for all those years, instead of just trying to rush in there thinking, "Oh, I'll make six figures coming through this thing," it would have been a little bit better, right? But I'm not going to look back in on regrets or anything. I'm just telling you the state of facts. So for me, it's semi. You know, with the Turo thing, that's semi-passive, right? Because it does require a man in the loop. You know, it requires someone to go clean the cars up, get the cars ready, things of that sort. It does require me to get on the computer and make adjustments, but it's not really crazy like that. And of course, you gotta buy cars physically. You know, and our next venture also is gonna be ATMs. The ATMs can make money. Now, if you're looking at something that's gonna do six figures in the first year, I wouldn't be looking at no ATMs right away. ATMs is like that slow, steady thing that's growing. Because talking to my mentor about that, because I have a mentor for each field that I'm looking to get myself into, right? And that's what you should do. I'm not saying you should be restricted down to one mentor, but whoever you're trying to strive to be like, and the field that you're trying to accomplish that in, you definitely need a mentor for it. And just dealing with some of the things that we have, right? Dealing with, you know, all the nonsense that we're dealing with the world with inflation and things like that. Prices going up for a ridiculous amount. Your money's not stretching as long as it used to be. A lot of people are moving. And when I say a lot of people, I'm talking about Americans. A lot of Americans are moving out of the country. and they got little finances, they don't want to go back and work. And this is, for example, retirees, right? You got some people who have a nest egg. They did exactly what they were supposed to do, but it was not accounted for with the high inflation. So now they forced to go back to work, or they gonna have to cut back on their means drastically, meaning that they're not really living the life they really want to live. So instead of getting into that situation, like most veterans do, they end up working government contract. Nothing wrong with working for the government, right? If you choose to do that, or working as a government contractor or whatever. But again, you're reporting someone. And to me, it's just like, I'm tired of the rat race. I'm tired of the nonsense, right? Like when I get out, no more. Because I've seen that. I've seen it with my family, right? I've seen it where my mom's working a job, working 13, 14 hours, days, right? Even longer sometimes. And she don't have to, right? Nothing wrong with that. But to me, that's not the most efficient way of making money and protecting your health. Because number one, your health is your wealth. You can work all day you want to, but if your body's breaking down to a point where it's getting harder each day to wake up and go to work, and your body's just stressing you down because you're not being able to take care of it, that's why I'm like, we're walking now. Then that's going to affect you in the long run. You know, being able to make healthy choices. You don't want to be in a situation where you're living check to check. That's the most terrible thing, because I've done that. I've done that while I'm in the uniform, right? And that's a terrible feeling. Living check to check. You got to figure out how you're going to get your money together. How do I get my money to go in the right direction? And it sucks, right? Where you can invest your money. There's different ways to get to this. You invest your money in high yield stocks or high yield savings bonds. You understand what Bitcoin is. A lot of people trying to crap on Bitcoin, but I think Bitcoin is going to be the thing that's going to take over down the line. And how I know that, I'm looking at this more and more, it's about people trying to do exchanges, right? Like the place I stay at now, it takes something called benefit pay. Folks in Bahrain know what that is. They take the benefit pay and they roll with it. But the problem with benefit pay is that at the end of the day, you're not able to get it unless you got a bank out here, right? And if you know what I know, that can be very difficult because they need a CPR card. And I think for us, we don't have a CPR card that's open access to the country of Bahrain. It's restricted. I think due to security purposes, people don't want to have your information. So that's probably why. So instead of doing all that, why don't you use a little bit of Bitcoin to pay your rent? Just hear me out. Some people might do that. Because if you constantly put money in there, you may be like, let me do that. Especially, that might be a way to make payments. Because if you got a system to take it, I have a system to give it, no issue. And I think that's what's going to be leaning onto it right there. That's why I think the currency that they're talking about, BRICS and stuff like that, I don't think that's going to really amount to anything unless you're going to back it up with some type of digital currency. Because I hear everyone say, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But if you got Bitcoin in the picture or something like that, that's going to really take over a lot. A lot. So anyway, just going back on what I was saying about the whole wealth situation. So in order to create wealth, you got to do it the right way. You can't have yourself in a situation where you can't have wealth at your hands. I think a lot of people forget about that. I think a lot of people forget about like what that means as far as having wealth and understanding where that comes from. If you're working a job and they fire you, and you can't hold out for a number of months, then I consider that living check to check. That's a lot of folks are living like that. If they lose their job today, they got to go to the unemployment line. They're going to have to get some type of help to help pay their bills. And I don't want to be in a situation like that. I don't want no one to be in a situation like that. But it requires us to dwell into the books and the knowledge of how to create financial literacy, not just for us, but for our kids and for our kids' kids, so they can understand, yes, you may be working a job at Food Line or Domino's Pizza, whatnot, but take what you learn from them and apply it to a business that you're going to create. And a lot of people don't take that. A lot of people just be like, well, I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And then time goes by. Life happens. You have a wife, you have kids. You have a husband, you have kids. You know, things come up, money stretched thin. And that's why a lot of people are like, why don't you have kids, Luke? Why ain't you married? Because I see these things like that. I truly see things like that. Hell, I might walk out with